So as I stated in class, I wanted to walk through the last couple of problems that were in the chapter 2.5 activities. So we talked about how we could take the cubes, and we're trying to get down to the idea of how many cubes we have to remove to get to 60% of the dominant color. And that was to get to this problem right here. So in this problem, there's 200 marbles in a bucket of 80% are swirled and 20% are solid. How many swirled marbles must be removed so that 75% are swirled? So we're going to remove some swirled to decrease it from 80 to 75%. So that's the key thing here. So if we think about where we are, we have 200 marbles. If we think about the fact that 80% of 200 would mean that 160 are swirled, and then the 20% would mean that 40 are solid. And we want to make it so that that ratio now becomes 75% to 25%. Now, the one thing we have to remember here is that as we remove a marble that's swirled, we're removing a marble from the total. So we can set up equations to help us figure this out. Let me erase this. We want 75% to be swirled. So what we know is that we want 75 out of 100%. And the question is, well, what does that mean for what we're doing on the other side? Well, we know we started with 160 marbles, and we're going to have to remove some number of marbles that we don't know. Now, that's out of the 200, but what we have to remember is that if we remove a marble that's swirled, we're removing that same marble from the total that we have. That's why we do minus x in both places. So to solve this problem, we have to cross multiply. So that's 100 times that quantity 160 minus x, and then that's 75 times the quantity 200 minus x. And the important thing here to remember is to distribute. So we're going back to some of those Algebra 1, Algebra 2 skills you learned years ago. So we get 16,000 minus 100x is going to equal 15,000 minus 75x. Now I just need to solve my equation. I'm going to add 100x to both sides because I like to make my x's become positive. So I get 16,000 equals 15,000 plus 25x. So then if I subtract 15,000 from both sides, I get 1,000 equals 25x. And then when I divide by 25, I will get that 1,000 divided by 25 will give me 40. So that means I remove 40 swirled. So now I have 120 swirled, and I'll have 40 solid. And if I checked it, 120 divided by the total, which is now 160, would give me 75%. So that's the first problem.